Alrighty, so hello everyone. Again, welcome. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining us here. As a friendly reminder, this session will be recorded. I plan to possibly go a little bit over the 1 hour session just to hit everything that we're trying to do, but have no worries because it's being recorded and it will be available on YouTube. Feel free if you need to go after the hour, just let us know. I have my marker and you can go ahead and watch the ending once it's uploaded to YouTube. We'll go ahead and provide you that link as well. As a friendly reminder, if you are on the other side, go ahead and mute your mic so that there's no echoing as well, and it'll make that much better experience for us all. So moving forward. This is Canvas New Quizzes. This is the first workshop of the year from the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning. My name is Kevin Zaragoza, and these are the workshop learning objectives for today. By the end of this workshop, faculty will create different types of questions and new quizzes, such as multiple choice, true or false, matching, ordering, categorization, and hotspot. We're also going to manage new quiz settings and features such as moderation, duplication, direct sharing, and auto grading. And we're going to end it off with being able to migrate and learning how to migrate existing classic quizzes into new quizzes. Okay. Questions on the objectives. Pretty straightforward, only 3. We'll have some fun with them. Okay, so before we even begin to build the actual new quiz, I want to go ahead and show you a sample. So if I go over to my Canvas new quiz, this is what it's going to look like on the end for your students. So it is a brand new user interface. It does look a little bit modern. And please let me know, is this zoomed enough or would you like me to go in a little further? It's okay?
Can you, I need it a little bigger, please.
Yeah,
No
absolutely.
worries. That's why I asked. How's that?
Yes, that's better.
Perfect. Okay, so thank you. At the very top, again, this is just a very basic user interface overview. At the very top, what do we have there?
Kevin, just a question. So
Sure.
is this version available? Can I do it on my Canvas while you're doing it? Or is this something just that you have access to?
No, so this is just a general overview. Once I'm done with this and talking about this new quizzes, we're going to go ahead and build our own. So I just want to introduce you to the user interface of new quizzes first and what the new question types look like. So it's more of a sit and watch, and then we'll go ahead and build it.
So I have new quizzes on my Canvas?
Not yet, unless you've activated it, which is the next part after
Right.
I go over the user interface.
I'll shut up. Thank you.
No, thank you for the questions. Feel free to stop me at any time. So at the very top, we have a nice little timer. This quiz, I did turn on a timer. However, notice that the student can actually turn it off. If you want the timer to kind of go away and not feel that anxiety that it may cause, you can actually hide the timer, which is a pretty nice feature. The title of this quiz is called Campus Trivia, and I've set a little small description here that says, hello, everyone. I'm looking forward to getting the semester started with you all and learning from one another. For this week, please complete this introductory quiz. We'll share more next time. Thank you. So, question number 1. Can anybody tell me what question type this is? Probably the most commonly used one. Any guesses?
Multiple choice.
Multiple choice.
Absolutely. This is a multiple choice question. And so I am going to be, if you guys know the answers to this, feel free to shout them out as we go through them. So number 1, this is a multiple choice question. Which of the following is not a former name of Holy Names University? Is it the College of Holy Names, College of Holy Names, Convent of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, or Holy Names College? Which of the following is not a former name?
College of Holy Names.
The college
right.
names.
All right, I'm gonna go with the first one. Number 2, this is very similar to multiple choice. However, this is a multiple answer. How can we tell just by looking at it? Notice that the multiple choice is this bubble, this circle, and a multiple answer is this rounded square. So very similar in format. Select all the former HNU names. So this is just a piggyback off of this one. So the College of Holy Names is what we selected as not being a former name. So let's go ahead and select everything else other than that. Okay. Multiple answer, multiple choice. Number 3 is a true false question type. And so this is the question. Holy Names University was established in 1868. True or false?
True.
True. All right.
Well,
Number 4.
no, false. That's an ambiguous question. The university wasn't founded then.
All right. I'm just having fun with it. True or false?
Okay.
Number 4. This is any guesses? What type of question type is this?
Fill in.
Fill in the blank, right? So type your answer. Blank Grainer is the current HNU president.
So MIKE.
MIK, Mike? All right, so this is a fill in the blank type question. Number 5, this is called a matching type of question. And so this right here, over on the left are my sort of options to choose from. And then over on the right are the different, sort of like the A, B, and C's. So match the HNU school with the correct dean. So for the School of Business and Applied Sciences, who is the dean?
Michael Gurley Graney Mulholland.
School of Education and Liberal Arts.
Kimberly Mayfield.
And the School of Science, Allied Health and Nursing.
Pamela Stanley.
Pamela Stanley. So this is, again, a matching type question. Number 6 is also a matching type question, but this one has something special called distractors. And so again, it's the same question duplicated. However, when we click on the options, we get some additional distractors. What this is meant to do is sort of really quiz your students and challenge them to choose from the drop-down list, right? So we're just going to go ahead and in this case, we're going to do the incorrect ones. There we go. All right. So this is, again, matching. And then you also have the option to add distractors. Question number 7, drag and drop the following class standings from first year to last year. Take a look, before we even answer this, take a look here and at the bottom. This is called a label. When we go and build the new quiz, you'll notice that this is called the top label and this is called the bottom label. So if you want to give sort of that scale from left to right, 10 is I really love and 1 is I really hate type of thing. This is optional, which you can actually display or not. So this first year is called a label. This last year is also called a label. So drag and drop the following class standings from first year to last year. So we're simply going to click and drag sophomore, junior, and senior. As simple as that. Any questions so far?
No.
Right on. So question number 8, drag and drop the correct HNU staff under their department. This question type is called categorization. You can have much more, you can have more than 2 categories, but for this example, I've only had 2. So for the CETL department and the IT department, who can tell me the names of who goes under each category? Let's start with CETL, my department.
So that would be J.
Jay, okay.
Oh, CETL.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Okay, then it'll be yeah.
Correct.
IT would be J. IT would be Joshua, and IT would be you.
Me?
No.
You're not IT. All right, the CETL.
Yeah, I'm CETL.
Yeah, so let's take you off.
We're good friends with IT though. And then with CETL, we have Ichi, that is my director and the department's director. We have Zarni is also an IT, really cool guy. And then Tomasa, she is my colleague and fellow instructional designer, also part of CETL. So if you notice that, it's just the drag and drop, all right? A little bit like this option up here, but this one we have categories where we can drag and drop. And for question number 8, keep in mind that you also have the option to have distractors. So at the end, again, challenging the student, you can have them, what's it called? Even though that this is the correct amount of answers, you can still have some more that are here. Does that make sense? These will be the distractors. Question number 9, this is a fun one and it's called hotspots. Then the question here is click on the Paul J. Cushing Library. So who can tell me which letter is where the library is located on this campus map?
F.
F, right? I'm just going to click in this area right here, and it's going to give me this target, and that's my answer. Moving forward. So everything we've done so far is in new quizzes has the ability to be auto-graded. By default, it's actually auto-graded. All of these questions that we've done are auto-graded by new Canvas quizzes. The only two that you have to manually grade on your own are these last two question types that I have down here at the bottom. Question number 10 is a file upload type question, and question number 11 is an essay type question. All right, so if we do use these two type of questions in new Canvas quizzes, we will have to manually grade them. Take note of that. So question number 10 says, upload a picture of your favorite spot on campus. I'm going to notice that you can drag and drop or browse your computer's file system. Let me go ahead and minimize my window here, and then also go here like so. Bear with me one moment. And then so I'm going to upload a picture of my favorite spot on campus. Actually, this is some fun news with you all. Just this Wednesday, we got a new furniture in one of our HEFI 655 and 654. So let this upload, and you guys can actually take a first look at one of our new classroom setting. So let me go ahead and maximize this. Let me move this over here just for organization. And so let me actually show you at this point. This is our new classroom in HEFI 655, 654. All right, so this is my new favorite spot on campus. I've uploaded that picture to question number 10. Okay. Question number 11, tell us about your most favorite memory at HNU, virtually or on campus. I'm just gonna put some lorem ipsum here, just for the sake of time. This is the essay type question. Notice that this area right here is called the rich content editor. So your student is able to format the text that they've inputted. Notice how they can also select, if you really want it to be formatted anyway, you can also upload media, insert media, or hyperlink. This is the rich content editor. But take a look at the bottom left. What are you seeing here? You see
Yeah,
that?
this is something I've wanted for years.
Welcome.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Hallelujah. Absolutely. So notice that as I'm typing, hello, everyone. How are you? Right? This is automatically counting how many words I've typed. You can also set a minimum amount of words and a maximum amount of words. I've set these, okay? By default, it's actually turned off, but I'll show you when we build it how easy it is to set this, okay? And you can also set a minimum amount. So it must use at least 250 words. So I'm very glad to hear that, Julia. And so that concludes the overview, the user interface of the new Canvas quizzes and the new question types. The next part of the workshop, we're going to actually build this. We're not going to build every single one of these because some of them are very similar, but we are going to focus on the primary ones. But before we move on, just any other general questions on what we just looked at? All right. So let's go ahead. Let me go back to my slides right here. And so in order to use new Canvas quizzes, we actually have to flip a switch. We actually have to activate new quizzes. So if you already have your Canvas up and open, feel free to kind of go back and forth. I'll kind of go a little bit slowly at this part. So if you want to do it with us, but if not, again, this session is being recorded. You can always go back and reference it. So we have to.
Question.
Sure.
So I'm a little frightened here because I'm giving a quiz next week. And if I activate new quizzes, is there going to be a conflict between the quiz that I have and my old quiz and new?
No, absolutely not. And thank you for the question. So activating new quizzes is just going to give you the option so that next time you build a quiz, it's going to ask you, would you like to have a new quiz or a classic quiz?
Question, if I activate new quizzes, can I use old question banks in it? Yes,
that's part of the migration that I'll talk about towards the end of the workshop. Thank you. Again, no, thank you. And I'm noticing something funny here. but we'll get to that later. So again, we're going to flip the switch and we're going to go ahead and turn on new quizzes. And let me go ahead and go there. So right now, since you don't have it on, it's off by default. Again, it's a new feature. If you go into your quizzes navigation tab and you go ahead and add a new quiz, you're going to start, it's going to take you directly into the classic quiz sort of format here. Okay, so in order to activate this new quizzes option, over here within your Canvas course, at the very bottom navigation, there's a settings tab. It's the last one. So you're going to scroll down. If you don't see it, you must scroll down. Okay, click on settings. Up at the top, you have a few different tabs. Click on feature options. It's going to have this view right here. And then towards the bottom, we have an option that says new quizzes. Over on the right, the state of new quizzes by default is actually disabled. We're going to click on the little circle and we're going to select enabled. Okay, and that's how we activate new quizzes within our Canvas shell. Okay.
Kevin, I'm in a shell that I haven't published yet, and I went to settings, and all I see is course D. Oh, never mind. There it is. It was hiding.
You got it? It was hiding, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, well, that's great to know. We can confirm that you have access to it. And it's that easy to turn on new quizzes, okay? So yeah, this is it's step number one in order to start building the quiz. Okay, so we've enabled new quizzes. Once we go back, this is the first page that I showed you. When we go back to quizzes and we select plus quiz to start building a new quiz, now you're going to see this window that comes up. So Julia, to piggyback off of your previous question, is it going to interfere at all with it? No. So now when we build a new quiz, you have the option to select either classic quiz, as you've done so far, or a new quiz. You select new quiz, and then you also have the option to remember my choice for this course. And now you're going to have this view. It's very similar to the classic view. When you begin, you're going to give it your assignment name and assign it its point value. And then right here in the submission type, it's maybe too much information, but just to point it out there, these options are actually grayed out, so you can't change it. But this is basically telling Canvas that this is a new quiz. Okay? That's it here. So don't worry about this area here that says submission type. This changes by default when we've selected new quizzes. And just like always, we give it a due date and the time frame and whatnot. And at the very bottom, you're going to see the option to build. Let me go ahead and return. Let me go to quizzes here. I'll just show you a live demo. Plus quiz. We have classic quizzes, new quizzes. I'm going to select new quiz, and then I'm going to hit submit. So for this sample, I'm going to call it a workshop sample. I'm going to scroll down. Over here in the bottom right, we're going to select build. Notice that when you are on classic quizzes, typically you have your description here and then question here tab. Now we have to go to the bottom and select, apologies, build. And here's my blank slate. This is how we start to begin building our new quiz. Any questions there? We've activated new quizzes. We've began to build one.
I had a question about that. When we selected we were going to do new quizzes, I saw some stuff about if I wanted access to a CSV and if I wanted speed grading, then I should choose classic quizzes. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. Let me see. Right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I use SpeedGrader and I like the CSV option.
So SpeedGrader is great. I totally agree with you there. However, new quizzes has this new feature called auto grading. And so it'll be built in.
I see.
You know what I mean? And so that auto graded final score will automatically go into your students' grades.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you're using the classic, you can still do speed grading.
Yes, correct. Yep. Yeah, classic quizzes remains the same. The only difference now is that we get the option to select new quizzes. Everything else remains the same. Cheryl?
So if, let's say with my quizzes, I don't really have the need for grading.
Okay,
Just really want to test knowledge and
sure.
then and then converse during class. Which would be my option, please?
Absolutely. So if you just want sort of just to get a gist of where your students are, you can always assign a 0-point value to the quiz. That's an
Okay.
option. You can
Okay.
also give it that it could also be part of participation. You can give it a point value and then just mark it as a incompleted assignment.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? These are fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's go back. We're going to start building it. And so for this example, I am going to go into split screen. So it might get a little bit smaller. Let's see how that goes. So let me go. Tell me if this is okay. Because I'm going to use one side to reference what we looked at the very beginning and the other side to actually build it. Just to kind of copy paste and go faster. It's faster to copy paste than to actually type it all out.
Okay, but how did we get to build? I didn't, that
Sure.
got by me.
No worries. So, and then I could actually reference my PowerPoint here. So once we've activated the new quizzes, right?
Yeah.
We've activated. We're going to go back into quizzes within our navigation in our shell.
Yeah.
We're going to select at the top right plus quiz, create a quiz.
Sure.
And then we're going to get the option to select new quizzes.
All right. Yeah.
We select new quizzes, submit, and then build.
So Kevin, if I activate new quizzes, it's only active in the specific shell that I activated, or is it globally in all of my shells now?
Right. So that's actually something I haven't trialed actually. If you want to quickly do it and tell us, go into another course.
Okay. Hang on.
That'd be great. My money's on that you have to turn it on within every shell. But I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, you have to turn it on in every shell.
Shell. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, good information. Actually, here's something that I didn't mention at the beginning that I should have mentioned. On June 30th, 2024, I know it seems a ways from now, but June 30th, 2024, classic quizzes will be completely gone. Everything will be migrated over to Canvas new quizzes. So we're starting early. We do want everybody to migrate over to Canvas new quizzes. The migrating process is part of this workshop towards the end. And so we'll go through that as well. But classic quizzes is going away. Yeah, like again, the date is June 30th, 2024. So that's another reason to sort of just start building new quizzes. All right, so again, let me go over here. Here's that. And then this one. One moment. Classic Day Workshop sample. And we're gonna build here. All right, so again, just for reference, the one on the left is what we talked about earlier. The one on the right is my build. This is what I'm building. This is my workshop sample. Again, so we're creating it now. The instructor is creating the new quiz. Over here, we have the instructions. We simply click in this area and we have the rich content editor. Feel free to upload a video of yourself describing the instructions for the quiz or anything like that. You can always upload any type of media here and format the text. And so special instructions go here. Boom. Once we're done, this is very important. Go ahead and hit done. This kind of confirms that's what we want to do. And then we hit plus. Okay. And now here we have all the different type of Canvas, a new Canvas quizzes questions. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with the multiple answer. Multiple choice and multiple answer are very similar, but multiple answer just gives you that extra option to select which are the correct answers. So I'm going to look for multiple answer.
So Kevin, can I ask a question about the multiple answer? Because I've used it in several classes and resoundingly students hate it. because of the way that Canvas grades multiple answer. If they get one right and one wrong, then they get a 0 on it, and students are infuriated by that. And I understand, the mathematical logic that if they didn't do it that way, then students could just select all of them and they'd get some credit. But is there any kind of workaround? I can also see why students are upset. They got something right.
Right. Yeah, correct. So over at the bottom within Canvas new quizzes and under every question type, we have this extra feature called options. And it's dropped down, it's open by default, which is nice. One less click. Under options, there's this option for grading. And so you can specify whether you want this question to be an exact match. The student must select exactly what is the correct answer, or you can also assign it partial credits with a penalty.
So explain to me how exact match would grade it differently than partial credit.
Right. So if we go ahead and select this part right here, in an exact match, let's say the first 2 are the correct answer and the first 2 are selected, the student will receive 1 point. Does that make sense? Is that okay?
Yes, I understand that.
Okay. So for partial credit with penalty, let's say the student only selects 1 of the 2. Over here at the bottom, we can provide them with general feedback for the correct answer, and then feedback for an incorrect answer. And then we go back and to a moderation part of the, it's towards the end, we go into this area called moderation, and then we can view the student's submission, what they answered here. So we could actually regrade it depending on how you just want to score this part of the quiz.
Yeah, but I've done that. Trust me, too many times.
Right.
That have to sift through a lot, and that's a lot of back mapping. And yeah, I didn't find that helpful. So can you scroll down just a little bit so I can scroll up, I guess. Yeah. So let's say a student picks the second answer and the third answer, but the first 2 are correct. How would the grading differ between partial and exact?
Let's see. Okay. So students are awarded points for every correct answer selected and deducted points for every incorrect answer. We can learn more. Students are awarded full credit if all correct answers are selected and no incorrect answers. Let me click this real quick, just to not provide any false information here, just to verify.
It seems like from that description, they would grade it the same.
Correct. That's what I'm feeling too. Add point value. Yeah, we did that. So it might be a manual labor for the instructor.
That's what it's been so far.
Yeah. Partial credit is calculated by dividing the total points possible by the number of correct answers for the question. This amount is awarded for each correct answer selected and deducted for each incorrect answer selected. No points are awarded or deducted for answers that are not selected. That's pretty important. No points are awarded or deducted for answers that are not selected. 0 is the lowest possible score. For example, if a question is worth 4 points and there are 2 correct answers, Canvas divides 4 by 2 and awards 2 points for correct answers selected and deducts 2 points for incorrect answers.
Yeah. Thank you. I feel like we're going down in the weeds. Okay, so they haven't solved my problem, it sounds like, but thank you.
I know what you're saying. Sorry about that.
No, it's not your fault.
Thank you. In some way, it is still, I don't want to say in a beta mode, new Canvas quizzes. And so something like that might be something that comes up once as this timeline before classic quizzes is gone, that might be solved. Yeah. So, and if anything, we can always reach out to Canvas. We have that special connection. We can make that recommendation. Thank you, Juliet. So this is the multiple answer. And so this is very, very, very important. A little confusing, unfortunately. So up here at the top, we have the question type, which is multiple answer. And then we have the question title. However, right here, our question is select all of the former HNU names. So let me just go ahead and copy this for reference just really quickly here. And so where do you think this goes? Select all of the former HNU names. Do you think it goes in the title area? Was that your first guess?
Yes.
Right? That was my first guess too. However, if we put something here, it doesn't show up. It's only for the instructor's sort of organization organization. So whenever we want to add a question, it actually goes in this area called the question stem. The question that we want students to see, or the prompts or the sentence, this goes underneath this area here, in this area that says add question stem. So I'm going to paste my prompt over here in the question stem. And so now you might be wondering, so what is the question title? Within the question title, this is something, again, I mentioned, it's more for like organizational purposes and for your eyes only. And so as you're creating your new Canvas quiz, you can actually say this question belongs to chapter 1.1, for example. So this is what chapter title is referring to. It is optional. You do not have to put a title, but you must put a stem. And that's that. Like, that is a pretty significant thing to keep in mind, because we don't want to put our prompts within the title. We do want to put them in the correct area, which is STEM. So I'm just putting in my options here like so. And then the last one. Okay, and my correct answer, this is how you specify which are the correct answers. It's just plus the check right here. And these are the correct answers. If you want to delete a question, we just an option, a little trash can right there. If we want to add more answers, add that. We also have the option to show an on-screen calculator and shuffle choices. So if you want these options here to be shuffled, you could just select shuffle choices. And we get this option now to lock the choice in place if we want. So if we want C to always be C, we have that option to lock it in place, and all the other ones will be shuffled. Yep. Now, moving with underneath the options under each question type, I am not going to cover align to outcomes or item banking in this class. However, if you are interested in learning more about it, please feel free to reach out. We can set another one-on-one appointment, because it is case by case. You have different outcomes from each other, and also with item banking. I know this is a lot of folks use item banking.
Kevin, I have a question. If you could
Sure.
scroll up, please. Just
Absolutely.
a smidge. So at the right of the multiple answer question title, there's a box with a plus in it. What's that?
This is the duplicate icon. So you can always duplicate a question type.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll show you if I hit plus, because I can always delete it too. So now my question number 2 is an exact duplicate of question 1.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So let's delete question 2. And this, do you know what this is? The waffles?
No.
This is to move around your questions.
I see. Okay.
So if you want to reorganize it, we can move it around just by hovering this area here. I can't do it right now because I only have one question, but I'll show you shortly. So this is multiple answer. Moving forward, let's go ahead and do a true or false. Again, multiple answer, multiple choice is very similar. The only difference is that we're selecting more than one option answer. So true or false. Let's go ahead and hit plus. Let's find true or false. That is located in the last column here. And okay, so my question is, HNU was established in 1868. Where does this go again?
On the question stem.
Correct. So we do not put it on the title, even though you really, really want to. Please don't put it in the title, or else the students won't be able to see it. So HNU was established in 1868. True or false? We just specify it like that. Very similar to multiple choice and multiple answer. And our only option here is to show an on-screen calculator. We can't shuffle true or false. It's always true, false. Assign it your point value, provide feedback if you want. That's that.
Can we see this calculator? I mean, how functional is it?
Sure. Let me go ahead and show you. So Canvas, new quizzes calculator. It looks like Let's go to images. If I see, I'll see it. I know what it looks like if I see it right away. All right, well, let's just turn it on and I'll show you.
Okay.
It is highly recommended that you enable one question at a time. Mode, that's in the settings, that's okay. Let's just go ahead and hit done. And then let's scroll up, we're going to preview. Loading, loading, loading. Okay, so da 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 da. And then right here, question 2, notice right next to the pin, we have this little nice icon for a calculator. And then we have our calculator on the screen. Within the settings, I can specify whether I want it to be the simple calculator or a scientific calculator.
Oh, can I see the scientific?
This is simple. Sure.
So which settings is that?
Actually, let's wait till the end because there's a whole page with that. I'd like to go through it just streamlined, but we do have that option. All right, so let's go back. And then it is here. And then we go to build. And our next question type is this fill in the blank. Let's go ahead and hit plus. Fill in the blank is there. And this one's actually pretty fun. So my question prompt is, so this one, take a quick note if you are taking notes. It does not go in the title. It's the only question type that you have to remember this for, okay? It doesn't go in the title, and the question stem is now optional. This prompt will actually go in this line that says type a statement. And so this one, I'm going to put Michael Rainer is the current HNU president. Okay, and so now how do we tell new Canvas quizzes what is going to be fillable? We're going to go ahead and highlight the word, and then we can either click on this button here that says create blank space or hit enter on our keyboard. Something really cool too is that we can actually highlight more than one word. And so we can have 2 fill in the blanks, 3, 4, 5 with just one question type, one question. That's pretty cool, right? Yes, Cheryl.
If you wouldn't mind going back to how you got there, please.
Absolutely. So so the first step is to create the fill in the blank. We select it. So we just hit the plus and we select fill in the blank.
Right.
That's going to give us this right here. What you want to keep in mind is that this prompt does not go underneath title nor stem. Notice that it says optional now. This is the only question type where you're going to see this. It goes in this area here that says type a statement.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so this is how Canvas, this is how it's coded, this question type. And so this is telling new quizzes that this is what is going to be our prompt. And then how do we specify what's going to be the fill in the blank? We just highlight the word. And then we hit enter. There it is. Okay, so now we get some very specific features. So our answer type is going to be an open entry, just so that it looks like earlier how we were doing it. Let me see it here. Preview. Over here on the right, though, text match, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So we can have it so that it contains the letters M-I-C-H-A-L. So long as that it contains these letters, you'll get the credit. It can be close enough. It can be an exact match. This means case sensitive. So the M must be capital, for example. You know what I mean? No period or anything like that at the end. Extra spaces, anything like that. Exact match is exact match. We specify the correct answers. So if you want, Cheryl, I believe mentioned earlier that, or was maybe I forget who it was, but someone said Mike. So if whether it's Mike or Michael, we can specify here whether which any of these is the correct answer, which is pretty cool. Right. And so if we have a question type that has more than one fill in the blank area, such as this, we just scroll down and we kind of specify what we want this one to be as well.
Mhm.
So it kind of builds within its little container there. It keeps it all in one place. Questions on that?
Kevin, I just clicked on close enough and it gives me Levenstein distance. What's that?
Right. I'm not sure. So that's more for I think it's more related towards if you're going with numerical values.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a math class, physics class, anything of that nature, maybe even chem with the formulas. That's that area. Oh, this is still loading.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's fill in the blank. Our only option here is to show on-screen calculator. We don't need a calculator in this example, but let's go ahead and move forward. Again, we must select done. Oh, we can also hit the plus. Then our next question type will be, if this is ever going to be done, this one's going to be a matching type question. So let's go ahead and select matching and scroll down. Again, we don't put it in the title, we put it in the stem. And so this one, we're going to say, match the HNU school with the correct dean. Let's not do, oh, let's go ahead and do the distractors. So for the question, we're going to go ahead and place the school just like so. Copy, paste, copy, and paste. I don't need this fourth option here, so I'm just going to delete it. And then so for the answer, I'm going to go ahead and put the correct ones. Okay, and so this question type is going to have distractors. Down here at the bottom, we have this distractor option. And so we can put additional options like this. If we want to delete it, we hit the trash icon. If we want to add even more, we can just go ahead and add a second one, like so. Our options for matching are show on-screen calculator and shuffle the questions. So if you want to shuffle these around, we can do so. Questions on matching? All right, done. And the next question type will be a drag and drop. Ordering is what it's called. So that is on the first column, last option there. This one is drag and drop. Where'd you go? Drag and drop the following class standings from first year to last year. Then here's that label that I was referring to. So if you wanted to have that label, that sort of spectrum, this is what the first, the most left means. This is what the most right means. Or in this case, top to bottom, the top means the first year and the last one means the last year. If we want these labels to appear when the student is taking the quiz, then we have the option here to include the labels. It's on by default. So if we don't want it, we could just turn it off as well. Does that make sense? Labels are sort of to tell the student what is that scale. So for type the answer, I'm going to put freshman. And then sophomore, junior, and senior. And that's that. Our options are to show an on-screen calculator and display answers in a paragraph. We don't need that. These are pretty short. And then include those labels. Moving forward. We're nearing the end. We're nearing the end. This is called a categorization, very similar to matching, but now we have two different areas. So we have categorization there. And then the prompt here is drag and drop the following class. Oh, wrong one. Bear with me. Drag and drop the correct HNU staff under their departments. My category 1 is going to be the CETO department, and my category 2 is going to be IT. The answers for CETO, we have Iching, we have Tomasa. And you have me. For IT, we have Joshua, Cesarni, and Jay. Boom. So that's how that's built out. Again, it looks very similar somewhat to a regular matching type question, but now we have just different, it's partitioned categories. All right, we can also add those distractors and we just hit that plus there as well. Questions on that? All right, so we are nearing the end, just 3 more to go, and these are fairly quickly. Number 9, this is a hotspot question. So we're gonna hit the plus. We're gonna go to hotspot, scroll down. So for this hotspot one, our question stem is going to be click on the Paul J. Cushing library. Boom. And so now we have the option to drag and drop just as before. I'm going to go ahead and minimize my window here just so that I can drag and drop it quicker. Boom. And boom. Well, that's loading. Let me go ahead and go to split view again. And so this is, it's built, when we start building this out, it's pretty fun. And so the Paul Cushing library is right here on F, right? We talked about that earlier. And so we have 3 options to sort of highlight where we want to specify. So we have a square, we have an oval, and then we have a polygon. The square is pretty straightforward. Click and drag, it creates the square. The oval, pretty straightforward as well, but we get a circular shape. And then we have this polygon tool. So if we want to create something a little bit more specific, a square doesn't do and an oval doesn't do, we can also do it like that. How do you close the polygon? Notice here that says double click to close the shape. And so I'm just going to go ahead and click, click, and then double click. And that's the area that's going to be highlighted. Again, we have a square, we have an oval, and then we have a polygon. All right. So for this option here, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight the Cushing library just like so. And then so long as the student clicks anywhere within this area, it will be correct. How's that? I think these are pretty fun. And the last 2, file upload and then essay. For a file upload, we just simply select it and we add a question stem. What we want to keep in mind, so upload your favorite campus image, just like so. And what we want to keep in mind here is that we can limit the file number, only upload 1 image, well, in this case, 1 image, but 1 file. If we want to specify even further, we can go ahead and type that in or use the arrows on the right to go up or down. Okay, and then you can also restrict file types. Is it going to be a PDF? Is it going to be a JPEG? Is it going to be a PNG, a TIFF? You can specify the file extension. Okay, and that's file upload. The very last one, I know this is a hot one. This is called the essay. And so that's the first one on the second column. We're going to put our prompt, which is, I'll keep it short. Tell us about yourself. And then over here at the bottom, here are our options to show the on-screen calculator, rich content editor, or do you just want plain text from the student? Rich content editor is going to allow them to bold, highlight, change the color, upload videos, hyperlink, things like that. But we also have spell check. We have the show the word count, which is this area here, 0 words. As I start to type in the area, it'll start to populate. And then we have set the word limit. Let's go ahead and click on that. We have the minimum, which could be 100. And then we have a maximum, which could be 1,000. And that's how you set those limits. Questions on that?
Yeah, grading notes, is that something that the student sees or is that something for the instructor?
It's the instructor. Sort of like when you have a PowerPoint at the bottom.
Yeah.
Those notes.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. Any other questions? So that's how we build a new quiz within Canvas new quizzes. Straight. I like the user interface. It's more modern, which is pretty nice, and I guess more welcoming. So now we're going to talk about the settings. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. I don't need this now. I'm keeping an eye on time. It is 12:53. And just a friendly reminder, if you do need to go at 1 or before 1 at any time, please feel free to do so. It's being recorded. It'll be uploaded to YouTube. We'll send that out to you. Okay, so now I'm full screen, better view here. Over on the left, notice that it's sort of like thumbnails. I made that PowerPoint reference just now. If you want to quickly jump through your quiz, if you have a 20-question quiz, 30-question quiz, feel free to use these numbers over here. Okay, so now let's jump into settings. So this is pretty fun. So once we've built out our quiz, I highly recommend doing it once you've built it out. Don't go into it first. Just don't forget to go into settings once you're done. So shuffle questions, shuffle answers. Notice that when we're building it, you can also move it. I was talking to, who was it? It was Julia earlier. We mentioned that you use this waffle to move the questions around. At the very end, if you just want to go ahead and shuffle all of the questions, you can do so from here. That's why I say do it later. You also have the option to shuffle answers. So when you're building your quiz, let's say you have a 20-question multiple choice new quiz. All 20 are going to be, you want all 20 question options to be shuffled. You can just do this shuffle answers option within the settings and it'll apply it to all of them. You don't need to do it one by one. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if you know all 20 are going to be like that, you could just do it at the end. You want to show one question at a time. Turn that on.
Kevin, can I interrupt? I'm
Absolutely.
sorry, I lost focus there for a second. So with the shuffle answers, I can toggle that on each question individually, and then
Correct.
or at the end I can do it for all globally.
Correct. That's
that's
the correct terminology. A global setting. Thank you. Yeah, so notice that with multiple answer, you have the option to shuffle choices. You could do it one by one, question by question,
okay.
or you could do it globally here.
Oh, I love that. Okay, that's super helpful.
Right. One question at a time and turn on. So it'll be sort of like chapters next. Allow backtracking. What is that? Can anybody tell me?
Student can go back to a previous.
Correct. So you could go back, you go forth. That's what backtracking is. Would you like to allow that? Require a student access code, very similar to like a Zoom access code. If you provide that to your students, you can set a password, share that with your students, and so they'll need that password in order to access this new quiz. That's an option for you. A time limit. We have hours and minutes. At the beginning, when we did the sample, I just set it for 1 hour. And so you'll have that timer up at the very top, and then you can hide that timer. You have that option. You don't have the option to not hide it. It's just always there for the student. Filter IP addresses, we're kind of getting into nerd territory, but basically if you don't want people outside of the country, for example, to take this quiz, then you can set a range for who can take the quiz. Okay. And you'll need the IP range, which is not so easy to find. I don't think it's straightforward. Allow calculator, again, a global option. If you know students should it'll be nice to have that calculator on all the questions. You could just allow it. And then what's it called? This is where the scientific one comes into play. We talked about that earlier as well. Would you like a basic calculator or a scientific one? Allow multiple attempts. This is a very nice feature as well. Would you like to keep the highest score, the average score, the latest, or the first? Let's just go ahead and put average. How many attempts, unlimited or limited? If we select limited, then we can specify how many different attempts the student can take. And then the waiting period. How long must the student wait before attempting the quiz again? Days, hours, minutes, right? Last but not least, this very last one, restrict student result view. So very important, put a star next to this one. By default, when a student submits a quiz, it will show them the results. If we do not want students to see those results, then we must go into settings and restrict student result view. Would you like me to say that again?
Yes, please.
Absolutely. So, and actually I should have had this turned on when we did the sample so you could have seen it. I'll do it right now. This option right here, which is very last one under settings. By default, when a student submits their quiz, it will show them their score. It shows the time it took, their score out of possible points, and then the percentage. If
Can they see individual answers to see what they got incorrect? Which questions they got? They can see questions that they got incorrect.
By default, they get the whole show. They see everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we want to restrict that view, we must go into settings and just check this here. And let me go back into my other window. I minimized it so that we can, oh, other one. Here. And then let me go here. Bear with me. Let's go back. Let's go build. The time is now 12:59. Again, if you do need to go, feel free. I'm not kicking you out, it's just a friendly reminder. Please stay. So let's go into settings and let me go into restrict student view. Actually, no, I'll keep it by the default. Let me go back into build. Let me go ahead and preview. And then I'm just going to go ahead and submit so that you can see what it looks like. There are unanswered questions. You do get that nice little friendly reminder that you haven't answered everything. It's okay. It's for learning purposes only. So you'll get this nice little view that says auto grading. Notice that 2 questions require grading. Can anybody tell me what these 2 questions are? What question types are they?
The essay and the file upload.
Perfect. Yes. So the essay and the file upload are the only 2 question types that you need to manually grade. So this is a reminder to the student that, hey, the instructor still needs to grade this. Okay. So we get the percentage, we get the 0 out of possible points, and then the timer. And now if we continue to scroll down, we get that view, what you answered and what the correct answer is. By default, students see this. So if you do not want them to see this, then we go into the settings tab. At the very last option is restrict it. And then we can specify what we want them to see. We can filter it down. So do you want them to show points awarded? Points awarded is right here, the 0 out of 16. Actually 0. And show points possible. Points possible is that 16. Show items and questions. That's this area all down here. And then the options for that are show student response, indicate response as correct or incorrect, show correct answer with incorrect response, and show item feedback. Item feedback is provided by the instructor manually.
Question, Kevin. On classic quizzes, you have the option of showing them the items and questions after their last attempt. Is that available here?
After the last attempt for the quiz?
Yeah.
This would be a attempt. Oh, I know what you mean. I haven't, what's it called? We weren't able to test run that just because we don't have the, what's it called? Act as a student access anymore, unfortunately. So I wasn't able to get that information, unfortunately. So it's more, next time you do that, we'd love to know how it turned out.
Because you know, the vast majority, I have kind of weekly quizzes that are, you know, for them to check understanding, and you know, I like to give them multiple attempts, but then I like them in the end to be able to see what's going on. And so it seems like I can't do that at this point.
It's hard to say, and again, I don't want to say yes or no just because I haven't done it. I have admin role in Canvas, and unfortunately we don't have that really nice feature that used to say act as a student. I'm only able to do this as an admin, unfortunately.
I know
And
it would be really helpful if instructors could act like students too, because sometimes
yeah,
I float it out there and I'm like, I think I set it up right, but I'm not sure.
yeah, and this is what we're talking about. Cheryl and Sheila, if you've ever thought about this, act as a student is different from student view.
That's what I was just going to ask.
Yeah, student view is just, this is what they see.
Yeah.
Act as a student, you can actually not only see what they see, but actually get data from it.
Right.
So when you submit it, it could tell you everything.
So
Yeah.
if you have somebody in Seattle who's still a student taking courses, they can find out for you?
Well, yes, however, we don't.
Well, this is an important piece of information.
It's a very important piece of information. And so I'd love to, if any of you want to test run it, I'd be happy to set up like a sort of trial with you, and then you can give it to your students, something simple, low stakes or no stakes, just for learning purposes. Yeah. Reach out. Yes, Cheryl.
Oh, on that restricting student result view, if I'm not using any points, how will that, if I were to check restrict student result view?
Right. So when we're building the quiz, go back here, exit preview. What's it called? Over here, when we click it, you actually have the option to just put 0.
Right.
And so if everything is 0, it'll just be 0 out of 0.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
But it will still show questions as right or wrong. So they'll be able to get feedback on whether they answered correctly.
Right. So that's when it goes to this, we check this and we decide whether we want them to see their item and questions, what they answered correctly, incorrectly. That's
So,
this
Kevin,
option here.
Thank you.
It's a little confusing to me when it says overall and per question.
Correct.
So is it just showing them that top pane where it says you got a 0 out of 16, or is it showing them? Can we see what it looks like when you select just those top 2?
Absolutely. So let me just actually answer some of these so we get some more actual information. So let's see, Mike. And then bada bing, bada bing.
Do some wrong.
Yeah. I swear I studied. You're seeing your drag and drop. I'll leave some blank. That's over here. Nothing there, nothing there. Thank you. Let's go ahead and submit. That's fine. That's just telling me that, hey, I didn't answer or upload my file. So yay, I got 1 out of 15 points. It took me 45 seconds. I got a 6.67%. And I'm very sorry. What was the question? Oh, I remember. So what we were saying is, so this is the possible points out of 15, but notice that as we scroll down, we can actually see how many points were given, how many points the instructor assigned to this question. So if we want students to be able to see that, then that's going to be visible here.
But Kevin, I was asking to see what it looks like when you say show points awarded and show possible, but don't show items and questions. Just the first 2 are checked.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just these 2, right?
Yeah, I just want to see what that looks like.
All right, let me do some, hopefully if I refresh it, it may
Okay.
apply. No, it didn't. Let me go kick this out.
Sorry.
No. True. Mike. That's fine. That's okay. Boom. Submit. Yeah. So let's see what the differences are. So we selected show points awarded and show points possible. I think it might not have applied.
Oh, it didn't.
Yeah, no, it looks the same. So maybe because I have it on 2 windows. Do you really want to see it? I can do it again.
Try one more time.
See it.
Okay, let's really see it. So restrict student result view. I'm gonna step out from this window here. I don't need it. I'm just going to stay on this one, and then I'm going to return.
I see. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Let's go on to jump into getting started. So, yeah, I think this is the one where I set that setting. Yep. Okay. So let's go to build. Let's go to preview. There's my calculator because I allowed it. There's that scientific calculator. Ooh, ah.
Ooh, ah, is right. Yes.
It's the question by question type. I've shuffled all the questions and all the answers. So now we're actually seeing it, huh? So thank you. Yeah, no, it's good that we went back. That's fine. Boom. Cool guy.
If you don't use 100 words, is it going to call it wrong?
It'll all be wrong. No points. You must meet the, I think it'll tell me too. Would you like to go back and review that question?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because you didn't meet the expectations or what the instructor said. One thing that I didn't talk about that I'm seeing right now, just because it's all sort of, it's just question by question. This little pin in the top right, if we select pin, this is for the student to go back. It's going to tell me, hey, before I submit, this is one that you pinned. Go back to this question.
You mean if they see something in a later question that makes them reevaluate the way they
right, so
earlier one.
Yeah, so this is like a reminder to the student to go back and to this question. And like, hey, I want to move forward. I don't want to spend too much time on this right now. I'd rather finish more of the quiz. This pin will remind the student to go back to this question. Okay, the following questions, that's okay, submit. All right, moment of truth. That's it.
That's super helpful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So we get the percentage, we get the points that we received out of the possible points and the timer, but none of the other juicy stuff. I shouldn't say stuff, information.
But going back to the idea that you want them to be able to see it at the end, and you don't have that option to say after the last attempt, can you go back and read?
Yeah. That's what's it called? Yeah, we also thought of that when we were creating this information. Didn't get to that point, unfortunately. You can't, there was no area I found where you can specify that. And so it's sort of lingering. It's one of the questions we have to answer.
So is Sheila asking that if after like a week, then you want to open up everything, can you go change the settings? You're not sure if that's going to work. I'm sorry, was that Sheila's question?
Yeah. Can you change it finally so that they would be able to go back and see their questions and answers?
Right, like a comeback, hey.
Oh yeah. Well, they need to be able to know which things they got wrong. That's the main reason for doing certain kinds of quiz.
Right. Yeah, I agree with Sheila. That's an important option.
Okay, I'm going to take notes. I will do further research on it. Follow up on what's it called? The feedback after multiple attempts.
Yeah, because in the classic view, you can actually set a date range. They can see the questions and the answers, their answers and the correct answers between this date and that date.
Okay, I see. I'll do some research and I'll follow with everyone here.
Great.
And so because, this time we're trying something new. This workshop will be available not just once, but twice. And so it's also available next Thursday. So hopefully I could answer this. And so if it comes up, because I know it's a hot question. If they ask it, I'll say it anyways.
Yeah, for me, Kevin, I think it'll slow my transition if I don't have that flexibility.
Gotcha.
So my transition to the new quiz.
Gotcha. Understood. So yeah, I put a big old star next to this.
Thank you, Kevin.
Absolutely. So that's settings. We've talked about build. We've talked about settings. Reports I will not get into because it's a little bit too complex and I don't have the data to actually show you. So I'm going to skip reports. Moderate, however, is quite nice. And for moderates, again, because I don't have data, I actually do have a, what's it called? I have some slides to show you. So just a general overview and a friendly reminder. Again, I'm not kicking you out, just friendly reminder. I know it's a great class, it's 113. So let's go ahead and go into presenter view. And so this is the moderate option, the moderate tab within new quizzes. Where did you guys go? You are here. Okay. Boom. So this is the moderate. So if I go over here on the left, when we select this, and the students have taken the quiz, we get this view. This is a sample view. This is just sort of data from Canvas, actually. So over on the left, I have some information. So the moderation page displays a list of students in the course. One, this area here is the student list, their quiz attempts, the quiz for each attempt, the time for each attempt logs, and quiz accommodations. That's 6. And then for 7, to moderate a quiz for an individual student, click the moderate button over here on the right. Moderation options include managing the timer settings and reopening a student's most recent attempt, which is pretty nice. If a student does need extra accommodations of any sort, well, with time, we can actually go in there and do it by student by student. Okay, so again, number 1 is just a student list. Number 2 will tell us the attempts 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4. If we go into the attempts button, notice that this is hyperlinked right here. So if we click on one of them, it's going to show us this view right here. It'll tell us the score that they received up at the very top. This is the instructor view. And then notice over here at the bottom left, we have the option to regrade. And so we can manually change the student's score by going into this view. Number 3 is the score that they received for that attempt, 0%, 75%, 50%. Number 4, that column is the time, how long it took the student to take that quiz. Number 5 is log. It can be a little much, but here's the power behind new quizzes too. So if you're more into, if you really, really want to get in depth with what for each question, information about the student, if we go into that, what was it again? It was the time column, right? Yes, oh, sorry, the log column. We select one of these hyperlinks to view the log for that attempt, and we get this view here. We can see when the student began the quiz, Tuesday, November 5th, 2019 at 2:19 p.m. And at the bottom, it's going to show us what time they finished and after how long. Number 3 is called the event details, which is all down here. 4, elapsed time per question. And then number 5, if we click on this drop-down list for that question, we're going to get this view. In the log, you can view the time and date a student began the quiz and completed the quiz. You can also view each event a student completed while taking the quiz and the time that the event was completed. To view more details about a quiz event, click the drop-down arrow next to the event, and you're going to get this here. Doing so, dropping down that list, it'll allow the instructor to submit an attempt for the student if they skipped it, for example. Does that make sense? If they skip that question and they didn't have anything, or you can submit it for them. It's a case by case, but just know that it exists. You can submit an answer for a student if they sort of left it blank. Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Case by case.
You mean if the student called you and told you something, some story,
Yeah.
about, oh, I forgot this and here's what I intended to write or something like that?
Right, exactly. You can see, okay, let's go back. Let's go into that question. Let's see how long you took. Let's see, were you close enough? And they don't have access to go back and attempt the quiz again. Then you can go back and submit that question for them if it is something that the student requested, for example. Yeah. It's a bit much, but it's there.
Yes, too many options sometimes.
Yeah, now we're getting into those little other details that it's like, oh, well, that's nice, but all right. And then accommodations. So if we want the student to receive extra time, the timer is actually pretty neat. We can add it with either a multiplier or just manually enter how much additional time. When I say multiplier, I mean, like for example, a times 2. This student needs twice as long as other students. Then we could just do plus times 2. I don't have an image of that, unfortunately. I was creating it on another computer. And then when I opened this, I have it on OneDrive. It didn't upload, it didn't update for some reason. And so I do apologize for that. But we have those options to add timing by manually or by multiplier.
Kevin, I also noticed that under the accommodations one, it says it's going to apply for all assessments
right.
for the student.
Yeah, very nice. So in accommodations within this Canvas course shell, right, this specific, if we specify an accommodation for this student, Canvas will automatically add this accommodation for this specific student for all future quizzes.
Is that true when you use the moderate option?
Moderate's a little bit different. Think of accommodations as like global, and think of moderate as a quiz by quiz. Yeah, because you can also specify the timing and moderate as well. So I'm done talking about sort of new quizzes and building and settings in the moderate option. The last 2 features that are also pretty neat is called migrating and direct sharing. So I'm going to jump into those 2. Okay, so let's go into migrating. In order to migrate a classic quiz into a new quiz, you need a classic quiz. You won't be able to do this unless you have a classic quiz. What am I looking at? So let's go back into my little area here. Oh, I selected grades, quizzes. So here's a fun little feature. Can you tell a difference between the rocket ships? All right. New Canvas quizzes is the rocket ship filled in. Classic quizzes is a rocket ship outline. As soon as we publish our quizzes, now we get a little bit of color to our rocket ships. Kind of a quick way to tell if it's a classic quiz or a new quiz. Filled in, new quiz, outline, classic. So as I mentioned, this is a classic quiz. I want to migrate this into a new quiz. Let me give you just a quick preview of this, right? Look familiar? So this is a classic quiz. I'm going to go ahead and preview it. And this is it. It's just a multiple choice question. Which of the following is not a former name of HNU? And I have my options here like so. Let's go back. And so over on the right, I'm going to select the 3 menu. This is called the shish kebab menu, kind of fun, the 3 little dots. I'm going to select the option to migrate. It's going to take its time. This is on the Canvas servers. By the way, it's not due to your internet speeds. So if it's taken too long, it's not your fault. And there it is. Notice the difference. Again, as I mentioned, here's the classic quiz. An outline it was an outline. Now it's filled in. Let's jump into the new quiz just to get that preview. All the information, the point values in the title did transfer over. Let's go ahead and build. And let's go into, there's my question. Let's go into preview. And now here's my classic quiz in new quiz format. That's it. That's how you migrate. Questions on that?
Okay, once you've migrated it, you may want to do some changing of it, obviously, to use some of the new features.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
there'll be some tinkering.
what do you have to do? Just start as though you had it and we're just working with it from that point, or?
Yep, you go to the kitchen, you get a nice cup of coffee or some tea, you sit down, play some jazz or whatever floats your boat, and then you just get at it. So if you do want those additional features, such as the calculator, just an example, if you do want to make use of all those additional features, yeah, we just have to do the manual labor.
So the migrating really just changes, to begin with, the way it looks on the screen to you and to the student until you do some.
Yeah, and then again, just a reminder, classic quizzes is going away. So the sooner that we get to on board with new quizzes, well, the less of a headache we have to do later. We have later on.
So it would probably be smart to migrate everything, just even if you weren't going to use them right away. Just kind of put everything over there, and then as you if you're using them in a future course.
Absolutely. And here's another hot thing that we were looking into that I wasn't able to, because as you can tell, we're way over time. We're near 123. It's fine. What was I going to say? However, one of the things that we're going to look at is the banking, item banking and question banking. It's not so clear yet. And so I was wondering if we already have a bank for our questions within classic quizzes, can that just migrate over to new quizzes? Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
That would be nice too.
Yeah, that would, Kevin, be super important to me because all of my quizzes and tests are generated, through question banks. And so no student gets the same exam.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I know what you mean. Yeah. So for now, kind of stick to the basics. We will look into it. There might be a new quizzes too, like advanced new quizzes, and we could talk about that learning outcomes area and the more question banking then. Yeah, but it's in the works. The last one is called direct sharing. It's actually really neat as well. Basically, if you want to share a new quiz with a fellow colleague in the same area where we migrate the new quiz, we can send it directly to them. And actually, could one of you try to send it to me? I think it was Julia. Were you building a new quiz?
I built something like you had. I mean, I just was following what you did.
Great. And are you able to see this send to option?
Let me, how do I get to home?
Wherever you created, whatever shell you created that new quiz.
Yeah.
Go into the quizzes tab.
I can't, all I have is the, oh, no, that's Quiz Navigator. Can I share my screen and show you what I got?
Show me, sure.
Can you let me?
Oh, you're not able to?
Oh, there I am. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I just presumed. Okay, so.
No, we're on top of it.
Here we are. So this is what I'm looking at.
Okay, let's see. Okay, let's go back to the shell. So we're in build mode.
Yeah, how do I get out of there?
We can select in the top right, it's called return.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now you want me to share that with you?
Yeah, let's see it. Oh, this is great actually. So send to, and then type in Kevin. Do I pop up that last guy right there? Yep. And then send. Oh, very good. So Julia has just shared a quiz with me. So now I'm gonna steal the screen share. I'm gonna go to my Canvas. And notice, does anybody catch it? It's a little subtle, but right here on my profile picture, notice my little one, it's a notification. I think it should be like a blue or a red, something to catch your eye. That doesn't really catch your eye, but that's a notification. Oh, now it did. And then I have shared content. Julia has shared this workshop sample with me. So we received it today. And now my actions, my options are to preview or import, throw it away, remove it. If I select import, then I get this nice little option here to select a course. Let's say sandbox. I should have another sandbox course. This is looking into your sandbox course. Well, okay, so this isn't such a nice example because again, I'm an admin. On your end, you should see your courses. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, you should see your courses. And so you'll select the course that you want. Let's say I had a podcast one. Yeah, so I'm the only one there. You can also select which module you'd like to insert that and import, which is pretty nice if you use it. And that's direct sharing. Let's see. Alrighty, guys. So thank you so much for sticking around and walking together through Canvas quizzes what's next, you can always reach out and make an appointment with me to answer those very specific questions regarding your class. So reach out, make an appointment with me to start applying any new concepts reviewed today. Visit our CETO Workshop SharePoint site for more information on upcoming trainings and resources. And please feel free to revisit session material from today in the Canvas online tools for teaching and learning. So I'll go ahead and share that information with you all in the Zoom chat. I have it here ready to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste it. It's direct links. And so if you visit our CETO SharePoint sites, it is revamped, ready for the new semester. And so if you click on CETO Workshops, it's that nice big option right here, Canvas online tools for teaching and learning. The very first option says new quizzes. And so now that I'm done with this first workshop, I'm going to start populating this area with the workshop files, such as the PDF version of the slides and other files that I would find helpful. If you click on this drop-down list here as well, I've already hyperlinked all of these frequently asked questions from new quizzes. So yeah, it's a resource for you. It's a resource for all. Please feel free. And if these still don't answer your questions, of course, you can make an appointment with us. Let's see, anything else? I will be sending you a feedback form. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this workshop. If you want to scan this, it'll take you directly to it. If not, you can also actually click on this in the Zoom chat as well. It's a Microsoft form. It's just a little quick survey. Last but not least, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much, Kevin. That was really helpful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
happy to help.
Kevin, fabulous.
Yeah.
Really nice to talk to somebody who's down in the weeds with us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, we totally get it. And like I said, we did look into those questions. Unfortunately, we don't have that data yet, but I have it written down and we'll get back to you once we get those answers.
Thank you.
Yeah, really appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and if you're on campus, go take a look at the classroom.
That's very pretty.
That's pretty nice.
Very
Yeah.
attractive. Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna stop sharing now. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Rest
You
easy.
too.
Stay safe.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.